Now, republicanism, or what's called radicalism in England, this is an idea that suggests that everyone should be able to vote. Republicans are more to the left of liberals in the first half of the 19th century. Republicans want to create republics. They want to end kings. Liberals want, if you remember, liberal constitutional monarchies. They want a strong parliament that makes the laws, but they don't need to get rid of the king. The king's just checked by this parliament in what we call a limited constitutional monarchy. Republicans want to get rid of the king altogether, want to create a republic. And they want everyone to be able to vote, not just the middle class and the landed elites. An example of this more radical movement is the Chartists. And the Chartists are a movement in England, a working class movement in England in the 1830s and 40s. And this working class movement in England, the Chartists, they create the Great Charter, which has 5 chief planks. 1, everyone can vote. 2, secret ballots. So employers can't watch what their workers are voting for or how their workers are voting. 3, salaries for parliamentary members. So not just rich people can get elected and can afford to live as a parliamentary member, but so working class people can get elected. 4, anyone can run. Working class people can vote and also they can run. 5, annual elections for parliament. Today, those first 4 things are a basic aspect of any democracy. The last one is not. Very few countries have annual elections for government.
But we limit who can run, don't we?
No.
Like, you have to have been
born. Oh, yeah, you have to be for. We limit it in some capacity, right? You have to be 25 to be Congress, 30 for Senate, 35 for president. And then we say that you have to have been born in the United States to be president. That's the only citizenship requirement. Except you have to be a citizen. You have to be a citizen to be in the Senate or the House of Representatives for a certain amount of years. Yeah. But in general, I mean, everyone can vote, or everyone can participate more or less, except for that. So Republicans then are a little to the left of liberals. Now, one thing that I didn't put on here is this idea of utilitarianism. And it's on the next page. Utilitarianism is Jeremy Bentham. He's a liberal that begins to think that the government should not just protect individual rights, but he thinks that the government's job should be to do what's in the greatest good for the greatest number. What's in the greatest good for the greatest number. And so some liberals by mid-century, mid-19th century, are beginning to see that maybe there should be some limits on the economy. Maybe there should be some laws limiting rights. For example, limiting the rights of employers to hire young children, or limiting the rights of employers to work people for 12 hours a day. Perhaps there should be some limits on individual rights for the sake of, for what's in the best interest of everyone. It's the most good for the greatest number. And so liberalism, will begin to change throughout the 19th century. So much so by the 20th century, in the first half of the 20th century, liberals will be calling for an expansion of the government in many cases to help people out. But this will not be all over the place.